Welcome along to the second part of this week's podcast. In part one, we had all the action from the Toner Cup semi-finals and the match between Newport Burrishoole and Hollister in League 2. In this part, we'll be looking at the action from the Elvery Sports Super League and the Castlecourt Hotel Premier League. But first, it's to the Elvery Sports Super League that we go. An injury time penalty was enough for Foxford United to win a 7-goal thriller against Kilchimon United at CMS Park on Saturday evening. Kilchimon dominated the early stages and went 2-0 in front thanks to goals from Brian Morley and Michael McGarry. But Paul Morton's strike on the stroke of half-time provided the away side with the momentum going into the second half. Then Straight Foxford showed why they are in second place in the table, as 2 goals from ace striker John Durkin put them in front, only for Liam Groke to level matters in the dying minutes. It seemed the Super League newcomers had earned a valuable point at that stage, but it wasn't to be though, as Daniel Gorman made no mistake from the penalty spot, deep into injury time, to leave Kilchimon United in the relegation zone. Manula won their second game in a row with a 1-0 win over local rivals Ballyglass to move level on points with their neighbours, and they have started to put their relegation fears behind them. Midfielder Paul Lawless was the hero, as it was his strike that was the difference between the two sides. Ballina Town's unbeaten record is still intact, and they had another big win over Castlebar Celtic when they recorded a 6-2 win in Billeek. Billy Bell's first half double had Ballina in control of the break. But Celtic pulled a goal back through a Gerard Boyle penalty 7 minutes into the second half. This was as good as it got, however, for Celtic, as Ballina took firm control from then on, as new signing Dylan Edwards scored twice, while Fabiano Macario and Kieran Gohan added further goals before Isaac O'Reilly grabbed a consolation goal for Celtic near the end. Ballyhane remain in relegation trouble after Claremorris got revenge for their defeat earlier in the season with a convincing 5-1 win on Sunday afternoon. Claremorris have been in good form of late, and they continued this weekend as Andy Peters got 2 and Simon Butler, Danny Broderick and David Grant scored as Mark Peters' side moved level on points with Castlebar Celtic in joint 4th position. That win for Straight Foxford keeps them 8 points behind Ballina Town. Claremorris' win moves them up to joint 4th with Castlebar Celtic, and Kilchimon United and Ballyhane both on 9 points and both in danger of relegation. And look at next weekend's fixtures. Castlebar Celtic travel the short distance to Ballyglass. Straight Foxford take on Ballyhane. Claremorris are the next up to face Ballina Town. Manula and Arisaintia, and Westport host Kilchimon United. In the Castlecourt Hotel Premier League, Ballyhaunis Town remain in the hunt for promotion after a 5-1 win over bottom of the table Westport United B. Andy Cannan has returned to his old club, and he made an immediate impact as he scored a hat-trick, and his addition to the squad is sure to add another dimension to this already exciting attacking outfit. The other goals came from Gary Higgins and Deo Addix as Ballyhaunis moved to within 2 points of Glenhest Rovers in second place. Snugborough United's winning run now stretches to 10 games in all competitions, but they had to come from behind to grind out a 3-2 win over Achill Rovers in Father O'Brien Park. Snugborough went ahead early on thanks to a goal from Kevin Curry, but that lead was short-lived as Achill scored twice in 3 minutes, with Brandon McGing equalising on 15 minutes before Joe Murray scored a stunning free kick just minutes later. Snugborough though dug out the win as Ben Lynch brought the sides even on the hour mark before Alan Lyons hit the winner 5 minutes later for Aaron Curry's side. On Sunday morning, Swinford got back to winning ways with a 3-0 win over Con Rangers. Paddy O'Donnell made a return to the Swinford first 11 and he was back among the goals as he was on target twice, with a third goal coming from Martin Murphy. Fahy Rovers pulled off the surprise result of the weekend with a brilliant 3-1 win over promotion hopefuls Glenhest Rovers. The Fahy goals were courtesy of a brace from Simon Duffy, while Niall O'Malley was also on target to move his side 5 points clear of the relegation zone. That defeat leaves Glenhest 3 points behind leader Snugborough, and the two sides are due to meet in 2 weeks' time in a game that could go a long way to deciding the Premier League title winners. In the final game of the Premier League, Bangor Hibs were 3-0 winners away to Ballyglass B. Ballyglass came closest to opening the scoring early on as Shane Ryan's shot went just wide of the post, but it was Anthony Coyle that gave the away side the lead with a well-struck left-foot volley on 20 minutes. Brian McHale had Hibs further in front 10 minutes later as he scored from the penalty spot after a foul on Donald Connolly to give his side a comfortable lead at the break. Ballyglass piled on the pressure in the second half, but McHale made certain of the points for Jimmy Flannery's side with the second of the game with 10 minutes remaining.
I'm joined by Anthony Coyle, the captain of Bangor Hibs. Anthony, solid 3 points there on the road there today against Ballyglassby. What were your views on the match?
Yeah, like coming into this game, they would have been confident enough at home. They are a very good side, and we certainly weren't being complacent coming into this game. 3-0 might have flattered us a little bit, and the first goal was very important, so we kind of just fell nicely for myself, and that kind of just set the tone for the game really, and it could have gone either way at the beginning, but fortunately we were able to push on from there.
Yeah, it was an important win. There was a lot of teams like really closing up there, but Bangor have now gone to 14 points. How do you see it going? You know, we've gone into the second half of the season. How do you see the rest of the season panning out for the team?
Yeah, I think it's going to be much the same. Out of all the 4 or 5 leagues it's in, it's the most competitive, certainly by a long way, and outside the top 2, certainly I think anyone is capable of beating anyone else on any given day, so I think it's going to be a long slog out for the rest of the season, and again, we're certainly, while we have 14 points, it's great to be there, we're certainly going to have to continue working at that.
That's brilliant. Best of luck, Anthony, for the rest of the
season.
Thank
you very much.
Okay, thank you.
And finally, a look at the Cascourt Hotel Premier League table. Snugborough's win over Achill Rovers brings them 3 points ahead of Glenhest, who lost surprisingly to Fahey Rovers. And down at the bottom, Con Rangers and Westport United B both remain in the relegation spots. Next week, the focus of this division turns to the Tui Cup semi-finals when Achill Rovers travel to Swinford and Snugborough United host Con Rangers. Thanks for watching our review. Don't forget you can catch up on the preview of each weekend on Midwest Radio on the lunchtime news at 1:20 every Saturday. So thanks for watching this week's podcast and this week's review. We'll see you again next weekend when we'll be looking at action from the Tui Cup semi-finals, the Elvery Sports Super League, the Three Store Ballina League 1 and the Killeen Sports Grounds League 2. Thanks for watching. See you again.